What's up, guys, and welcome back to Thean's Garage. In today's video, we're going to be fixing the swing arm bearings on this Honda Recon. Let's get right into it. First things first here, to determine if your swing arm bearings are bad, just do this. And if your swing arm does this, your bearings are probably bad. I mean, look at that. That is insane. Now that I have this thing jacked up off the ground, it's obviously noticeable that this is a little wore out. It may be beyond repair, who knows. And the actual back axle too, look at that. It's loose in there. So the bearings in the back axle also need to be replaced. But I am not doing that today. Today we're, oh man, sounds a little rough. Today we are just working on the swing arm. So in order to do that, you're gonna have to buy this kit. I bought a little kit for it. There's some caps, and the biggest thing is you're going to need a 17mm Allen. I had to specifically buy this thing. I'll have it linked down below. I think it was like 10 bucks to fit these things. The pivot bolts, the pivot bolts here where the swing arm attaches. So I just lifted the foiler off the ground. That's all I've done so far. I'm gonna go ahead and pry these caps off with a flathead screwdriver and clean out if there's any dust or rust or anything in there, and then bring you guys back. So here is the right-hand side. I already did the left-hand side. Let's see how bad it is in here. It's actually not near as bad as the other side. You are supposed to get a tool to remove this keeper, but I did not get one. So hopefully I can still remove it without doing that. And you also have to remove the brake cables back here. I've already done that. They're just the little springs on this thing. This brake doesn't even work. It's also something I have to fix, so I didn't even like really mess with it. So I took those off already. I apologize I didn't film it. I'm also going to remove both back wheels. It should be a little bit easier, less weight on the swing arm. They are a 17mm, so just gonna zip both of those off real fast and I'll bring you back. Wheels off, you can get a better look at these axle bearings. These are toast. So I'm gonna definitely have to try and work on that next. I'm not gonna do it right now. Like I said, I'm just working on the swing arm thing, but man, these things are, I don't even know if there's any bearings left in here. So that's great. Now, because we have the wheels off, we have access to this bolt here for the shock. Once we take this off, I think the swing arm should fall down, I believe, but I don't know if I need to take that off first or the swing arm pivot bolts. Probably that, I would assume. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the shock first. All right, I changed my mind. Don't take that shock off because it kind of made this whole thing fall, and it was warping and twisting on the pivot bolt joint thing. So let's try to get these pivot bolts out right there. That's where this 17mm impact thing comes in handy. Is this the right way to do this? I don't know. We're gonna find out though. Maybe, if I can get it in here. I don't think it's gonna come out. Oh, look at there. That was my worst fear right there, was that part. And it came right out with this impact. So I would recommend an impact for this. Looks pretty rough in there, but we are going to be cleaning it out. Let me go to the other side. Let's see if we can get the other side out. Okay, now like I said, this side has the key. I'm really hoping I can get it out without taking that key out, because I don't have the tool to take the key out. Well, it came right out. My ears are dead, but it came out, and the key is unscrewing. This only should have like 5 foot-pounds on it or something like that. So the swing arm is technically free other than the shock now and the drive shaft. So I'm gonna have to look up how to take this drive shaft off. Most of the time you probably just have to pop it right off. I couldn't find anything, so I think I'm just gonna try pulling it straight out. I believe it's gonna come out, so I'm just gonna loosen this shock here and lower the jack, because I did put a jack underneath here. I forgot to say that because this was falling. And lower the jack so the swing arm should fall once the shock is off, and I'm going to try to pull straight out, and hopefully that drive shaft comes out. Okay, so now I'm going to lower this jack. The swing arm should just slowly go down. Well, I say that, now the shock's not coming off. It'll fall here in a second, probably. Yeah, like that. So now the swing arm's off. There is some breather cables here I didn't see. I need to go ahead and remove those. I don't even know if they're working because this one's not even attached. There's a dirt dauber nest in it, so don't see how well that's going to be breathing. Now hopefully this thing just pulls right off of here. See, look at this, it's just falling apart. Oh, yep, it just pulls right out. Well, there we go. There's the swing arm off. I got the swing arm off. This side still has the bearing, even though it's trash, in there. And the other side, there's nothing left other than the inside race. So I'm going to try to pull this seal out and maybe pull all the components out of here. And, of course, the race will still be left in there. But then we should be able to hopefully access some stuff here. Okay, so this inner race on both sides, I got the other bearing part out. This thing is just trash, obviously. But you cannot go through. I was hoping maybe I could punch it out, but I did see some people say that you can weld a bead on the inside of this race, and once the bead cools down, it'll shrink the race and you'll be able to pull it out, and then obviously put your new race in there and your new bearing and stuff. I'm going to attempt to go do that at my neighbor's. He has a welder, and I'm going to try to do that. I've never really welded before, so I don't know how this is going to go. So I'll let you guys know whenever I get done, and hopefully it works out all right, because there's nothing else I can do. I'm probably going to take this thing off here and re-grease in there too. It's real nasty and rusty and crusty, so, and I'll clean everything else up, but I have to get these races out first before anything. So let me try to do that. So unfortunately my mic stopped working here. I've had a lot of troubles with this microphone, but anyway, all I've said was it worked. I welded, or at least attempted to weld, a bead on the inside of these bearing races, and I got them out. It was pretty simple, and if you know how to weld, it would probably make it 10 times easier. And the bearings really did just fall out after I got done welding them, and they cooled down. So I recommend doing that if anyone's has a welder and experience, other than, you know, you can see how bad they look. I don't know how to weld. There was a second time maybe ever using a stick welder in a really tight and small place. So that's all I'm saying in this video. That's all I said. And essentially, too, the drive shaft is really nasty. I ended up cleaning it off a little bit before I put it back into the four-wheeler. And then I also put the new caps back into the holes there because it welded right through. There's one of the old caps. It welded right through it, like the heat, super thin aluminum. So that's probably all I said. I don't know what I was saying here. Okay, the bearings have been cooling in my freezer for about an hour or so. It probably could be longer, but I'm impatient. Now I'm trying to find a socket that'll fit this exact bearing race, and I don't have the exact one. A 30 is a little bit too big. It's like a touch too big, and a 27 is obviously too small. But I don't have anything in between, so I'm not sure how this is going to work putting on here. But I'm going to start heating this up. Hopefully I don't have to pound it in, and hopefully it just slides in after I heat it. I'm going to use this torch here and heat this thing up, get it nice and hot. Run inside, go grab the bearing, bring it out here, and hopefully the race just falls in. That's the hope. I don't know if it's going to or not, but when I get the race and bring it out here, I will bring you guys back on. I'm just going to record, or heat this up now. I tried to clean this out as best I could. I'm not going for perfection here either, so that's where we're at. Okay, I am heating it up. I got the bearing. Okay, let go. Oh, it didn't go in all the way. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. I don't think this is gonna work. Darn. Well, it somewhat went in, but it's gotta go in a lot farther, unfortunately. And I don't know, like I said, this, it's starting to, but it's got about 1/4 inch to go. And this socket is too big, so it won't fit all the way in there. It'll fit, but it's going inside the race. So I'm not sure how I can get it a little further down to seat it, because it needs to be seated down a little bit further. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I was hoping it would be hot enough and it would fall in. The other side I'll have to do a little different. All right, what ended up working, I took the, it's hot. Took the old race here, and since it's a little bit smaller, it slides in and out now pretty easy, and just took a board, this wood board right here, set it on top of the race, and smacked the board, and the bearing is now seated all the way in. So essentially, I gotta do that same exact thing with the other side, and then I'm gonna grease the new bearings up really good, pack some grease in them, pop them in, hopefully put the seals on, and then we should be good to go. Putting him back onto the foiler over there. I'm gonna re-grease this nasty axle and hopefully try to clean this out a little bit more, but we'll see if that actually happens. But at least this bearing race is in. Of course, this side went in way easier. Didn't have to hardly pound at all. I got this a lot hotter, sat out here for a lot longer with the heat on there, put the frozen bearing in, it kind of just slid in, one little tap all the way down. So now what I'm gonna do is pack these things with grease, then I'll be able to slip them in, put the seals on there, and then hopefully slide and mount everything back up. I'll probably have to have help doing that because it looks kind of difficult to do one-handed, one person, but we'll see in a second. I'm gonna pack these things up with grease. Okay, that was extremely difficult to do, and I had to have help. You have to have a jack under here, we see it over here, lifting this up and then trying to slide that. There may be a better way to do it, but I put the axle in this side first and then tried to put it on while having that boot on there. It's just a very difficult thing to do. It wasn't lining up properly, and we finally got it. So now, before everything sags, I'm gonna try to get these this thing threaded in here. I should have cleaned it out. I completely forgot to clean it out. So that kind of sucks. I just realized that now. But that's okay. This side gets like 90 or 100 foot-pounds of torque on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some blue Loctite on these threads too. I'm gonna try to line it up and get the pin in there and get it all situated, and then I'll go around the other side, and then I'm not gonna torque anything down until both bolts are in, but I'm just gonna get this threaded in there so it's not resting just on the axle. I say that was a pain. It was a pain. For some reason, this one was not lining up, and if you look right there, it actually broke off a piece of that thing when I was trying to torque it down. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but this side is torqued down, the other side is not yet. It is threaded on good. I mean, I tightened it by hand pretty good. It's only supposed to be like 5 or 7 foot-pounds, which you get hand tight, and then you're supposed to thread this locker in here. This right here, I just kind of hand threaded it in there. I don't have the tool to thread it in. You're supposed to thread it in and snug it, and this is kind of what just stops it from backing out. But I don't have the tool for this, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna tighten this thing down, unfortunately. So we will see how this goes in a second. I thought about maybe using like a screwdriver and turning it. I guess that kind of works, if you can see, but it's not easy. I mean, there you go. It must have just caught some grit or something. There's grit or something grinding in here, stopping it. But basically, I have to do this the whole way, and I think this is supposed to get like 20 or 30 foot-pounds. I can't remember. I'll have to look up the torque specs, and I'll post them here. I'm probably just going to be lucky if I can get this thing all the way in, because this is really greasy, or really rusty and grimy in here. Again, I should have cleaned it out a little bit better, and I didn't. And I didn't torque the shock nut back on. I'm going to go ahead and torque that down. I'll hopefully list the specs for that, get the wheels on, and then the rear swing arm bearings should technically be done, other than these caps that you put on here. And that's it. So I'll bring you guys back in a second and let you know how everything went. Oh, and by the way, if anyone wants a cat, we're shipping out cats soon. Be having them boxed up like this and shipping them out. Okay, I already see a problem right there, there's a gap, and there should not be a gap. So I'm kind of at the same spot I was. It's obviously not as bad, but the swing arm is still loose within the frame there. So I'm not sure what exactly I've done wrong, or if basically the frame is probably wallered out along with this swing arm. I have a feeling the frame has been like splayed out from who knows how long this thing has been wobbling back and forth like that. So I'm not sure how I could fix that, because there's no other spacers, there's nothing else. I didn't miss anything. Everything else is put back in there. So the only thing I could think of is I could try to torque those nuts even tighter in and maybe pull the thing in together, like pull the frame in. I'm not sure, but there's definitely way too much play in there, which it's amplified because the axle here is just shot. So I'm going to try to mess with it a little bit, and if I can figure something out, I'll bring you back. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I tightened both sides up a lot more, but look at this gap down here. There's way too big of a gap on this thing. I'm not sure what's going on, and I mean, it's not moving anymore. I tightened both sides up really tight, and now the actual swing arm isn't moving, so maybe I just didn't have them torqued down far enough, but I just don't feel like that gap is supposed to be there. It just seems like so big of a gap. So I'm not quite sure. If you guys know, let me know down below, but I'm probably going to call this good. All right, guys, I'm just going to call this good. My lights are turning off already. I had to close the door. It was raining really hard. It's storming out there. I don't know what's going on with this thing. If there's supposed to be a gap on one side or the other, please let me know if I did this right or wrong. I mean, it's not moving anymore, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'll have links down in the description down below where I use like the little kit that I got, that Allen wrench thing, and my little socket set. So if you guys want to use those, you know, help support the channel. And consider subscribing. I got a few more things I got to do with this. I'm going to add some plastics, redo the seat. The rear end is obviously really bad, needs to be done. The front brakes need to be done. There's some things on here that need to be done. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something. If not, let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are. Hope you guys have a good one. Bye.